Kaspa has been following a trend that I've been telling you about for months now, and if the market conditions allow it, we could be days, if not hours, away from the start of the parabolic run for Kaspa. Hey folks, welcome back to the channel. Hope you're all having a fantastic day as always. I've been out the game now for just over a month, but we are coming back with a bang. If you've seen me before, you might have noticed I'm in a different place. I'll be here in Thailand for the next few months, so that's a great time. Anyway, let's start by revisiting this trend I talked about 3 months ago now. This chart here shows the trend I've talked about in my last few Kaspa videos. I like to call it the Kaspa wave theory. And for those of you that haven't seen the previous videos, I'll quickly tell you what that is. I'll show you down here. I think this is the best representation. Basically, we identified a trend on the Kaspa chart, which shows that Kaspa normally has two larger waves, followed often by a third smaller wave and a little bit of consolidation, and then we have our next leg upwards. And so far, Kaspa has been following this trend all the way since launch. You can see the first run here a couple of years ago. We got these two distinct larger waves, then some consolidation. You could argue we had a third smaller wave here, and then shortly after that we had our next leg upwards. And then that continued, the two larger waves, the third smaller wave, bit of consolidation, and the next leg upwards. Now you can see on this most recent cycle we have already had the two large waves. Now here you could argue that we either saw the third smaller wave or this was just consolidation, since the market was very volatile during this period. I haven't actually changed this pattern at all since we originally drew it up on the 15th of March, which was a particularly volatile day, and that whole month really was very volatile. But if we put the market conditions aside, this has basically been consolidation. This line drawing we did here was a very, very rough prediction of what would play out. And you can see it has been following that drawing pretty well. We did predict that a third wave might come a little bit later than it did, but on a whole our pattern has played out quite nicely. Most importantly, we have stayed above this critical level of support around 10 cents. As I've said before, if we were to confirm a breakdown below this critical support, that would be my invalidation point for this entire trend, and that would mean the theory is no longer likely to play out, but that has not happened, so that is good to see. Again, volatility was quite high during this period, but we mostly held this support here at 11 cents, and we have been slowly on the uptrend since then. Now if we get into the most recent price action here, you can see we did break above this 14.7 level here, which was the trigger point for this big pump upwards that took us all the way up to the next resistance, and actually all the way up to a new all-time high, which we reached at just over 19 cents. Of course, this move coincided with Bitcoin reaching 71.5k again. After that, we did have a bit of a retracement, which you would expect after testing an all-time high. That came down to retest again around 15 cents, but we have since bounced back nicely. And if Bitcoin plays ball in the next few days, then we would expect to continue this move upwards. I won't go into a full Bitcoin analysis on this video, but many analysts that I trust are predicting a major move for Bitcoin in the next few days, with a higher probability of that move being towards the upside, potentially breaking new all-time highs for Bitcoin. And if that does happen, then I would expect Kaspa to follow suit and break back above these resistance levels that we have here. And as predicted with my rough line drawing, according to the trend, that should kick off our next leg upwards. Now of course, since that will be breaking a prior all-time high for Kaspa, that will send us into price discovery, which means we don't really have any data to go off when making price predictions. However, there are a couple of significant levels that I would expect to be acting as significant resistance, and I have marked them out here at 20 cent and 25 cent. And the reason for that, as I have been banging on about in my previous videos, is that these are significant levels of psychological resistance. As you should know, psychology is one of the most important factors in trading, and these nice whole rounded numbers like 20 cent, 25 cent are levels that we would be expecting people to be taking profits, closing positions, and that is just a normal part of trading psychology. So if we're thinking about our short to medium term target here for the next leg upwards, I would say that it is this 25-cent level. That is what we should be looking out for. We will likely see resistance at 20 cent, but I don't expect that to cause too much of a problem if we have the momentum of Bitcoin breaking all-time highs. And most importantly, if our leg up theory is correct. If you want to hear about the Kaspa wave theory in a bit more detail, as well as some great tips on trading psychology, go ahead and check out this video. Or if you want to learn why Kaspa isn't listed on a load of tier 1 exchanges, go ahead and check out this video. That's all for now, folks. I've been me, you've been you. Thanks for watching, and see you later.